Yeah, no, it felt great to be back out there. It's just to see all the work, all the rehab and everything that I've gone through this off season. Come to this moment and get back on the court with this team. It was great. Like I feel great and can't wait to do a little bit more. Um, yeah, no, it's a balance. I think it's just I'm anxious to be back on the court. I'm excited to be back on the court, but also like just being being graceful with my body and like giving myself that moment to be able to come back and it doesn't have to be all in one time. It's a preseason game. It's gonna be a long season. There's a lot of games down the road, but just not to rush anything.
Emily, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just our actions. Like, it's really hard to guard when we're playing with good pace and we're setting good screens, and especially if I'm with DB in those actions, it's really hard to pick like who you're gonna guard. Um, and so yeah, just our actions have been really tough, and we've worked on it a ton. The crustiness. Yeah, there were some crusty moments.
Yeah, I think there's moments where we felt like it was flowing well and things were clicking, and then there was moments where like there was a little rust on it. Like we're just trying to figure out each other and figure out how the offense flows with each other. So I think it was a little bit of both, but it's still preseason. We're still we get to go back and practice and fix a few things before the first game.
And we're still working on like rotations and like groups and all that. So just kind of seeing like who plays well together and in different areas and where to put them. So it's still fun to kind of figure it out, even if it is like crusty at moments. Like I know it's an awful word, but it just works. But it's still fun. We're figuring it out. Yeah.
So like to fit back in with this team and it's better than before that.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I mean, I've played with them, like obviously played with Breezy, but like now I'm just a more complete player and I'm better than I was when I first was here. So it's fun to like kind of come back and like know who I am and be welcomed so well. Like everyone's just so great and the offense is so fun and we can kind of just play free and everyone believes in me. So it's been like just a blast. And being in a veteran group is fun too because we just kind of play. Like we're not overthinking stuff and we know like what each other like to do. So
yeah, it's great having her back and seeing her play so well and shine with us. I'm happy she's back.
We're going to take a question on Zoom. Christina, go ahead.
Hey, although today's game didn't end how you all wanted it to, what are some positives that you'll take away from this game in terms of what the Sun look like right now, roster-wise?
I think some positive we take away. I think New York went on their run there in the second half, but we were able to counter and make our run at the end there and get up one. I think there was a minute left or so. We still had to finish some things out, but I think just seeing the toughness and the competitiveness that we've had so far in training camp, it's been great to see that out on the court, and we feel like we're moving in the right direction.
Thanks, Christina. Dom, go ahead.
There's probably no UConn as a player who's coming back from Achilles. Issue there's in August, as you say, where you go to UConn also. What types of things would you tell her about the process, mental process, physical process, you mentioned that kind of rush like that. What are going to be the important things for someone coming back from the
I think number one, like listen to your body. I think just being aware of how things feel, but it's gonna take time. It's not gonna happen overnight, and just find those little wins and enjoy those. Because for me, like there was times where I'm like, oh, I'm not where I thought I should be, but also knowing where I was like a month ago, like it just finding those little wins in the recovery process for me is what helped me, stay in it.
How long is the process for you to get over the mental aspect of maybe not fearing the injury or having confidence that it's okay?
I think it's an ongoing process. Like I think I'm still, in it. I'm still not so much thinking about re-injuring it, but just not 100% back to where I was. So it's just I think it's an ongoing process, and you just have to continue to stay motivated and stay on top of the rehab and recovery and everything because you don't want to go backwards.
Are you confident when you get there that it's going to be like it never happened?
Yeah. No, I feel good about it. I've talked to Alyssa. She's been through that injury. I've talked to some other people who's also had the injury, and it takes time. It's not gonna, like I said, it's not gonna happen overnight. And but I think I'm confident that it's gonna be like it never happened.
Last question, anybody?
Rachel, on that last play, it seemed like really, I don't want to say had it figured out, but they were kind of zoning in on you, like, even when the screen, if you lose a squat, what do you think they did to make that shot there?
Yeah, I think they just tried to like push me out higher. The play before, we ran the same thing and I back cut her and I got that three. So this time they pushed me off of it and then the post was higher up and I was still gonna shoot that thing regardless. But like, yeah, they pushed me into it and they had like more presence there than just like me being loose and coming off of it. So they did a better job showing.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Head coach Stephanie White will hold for a quick opening statement and then go to questions. Just please raise your hand.
That is not the final. Yeah, I thought we did some good things. You could see some really good moments defensively. I mean, 25 points off of turnovers is really good. We weren't exactly where we wanted to be all the time, but we made some plays on the defensive end of the floor. Took us a little while offensively. We didn't start the ball game well. We've got to find a way to start a little bit better, but we saw some lineups that could do some really good things in terms of spacing and movement. I always love when we share the basketball, and 25 assists on 32 made field goals is outstanding. So I think overall for our first exhibition, it was a decent showing. We got some good stuff out of it, and we've got some things that we know we got to clean up.
Questions? Emily, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not exact. I think it was ankle, foot, some lower extremity. I'm not exactly sure. But she's good. She's walking around. If we were playing a real game, she probably would have come back in. But there's no reason to rush it right now. We'll give her a couple days and see how she feels. It's tough when you got a player like her that plays only one way. Sometimes you got to save her from herself.
Dom, go ahead.
So you talked about playing the long game with
Mhm.
I don't know what you said tonight, and how long do you think it would take, I don't know what experience you have with that injury, but how long does it take to really get back to where you're all going?
Yeah, I think everybody's different. I think everybody's different. You've seen when Alyssa Thomas came back from hers and she was on the fast end of it. I think Breezy's probably on the pretty quick end of it as well. So now it's about getting her timing, getting her rhythm, getting her confidence, taking a couple of falls and being able to bounce back up, working through fatigue, getting back in game shape. I mean, you saw like just short on her shots, a little bit late in the rotations, but that's part of coming back from injury. Nothing that we're concerned about or worried about. It's just working her way back. I think the biggest thing is keeping her patient with herself, confident in where she is and what she's doing. For us, there's confidence in having her on the floor. She's an elite communicator on the defensive end. She's always going to be in the right spot. She takes up space on the interior. I mean, we didn't have one player who could bang with JJ a year ago. So having Breezy back on the floor, Liv's a little bit stronger. Queen strong on the interior, gives us some different options as Breezy's working her way back.
Gavin, go ahead.
So that kind of the impact you expect Rachel to have to come off the bench. She seems like you're really confident shooting the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she does. When Rachel was in college, I called a game that she was playing at Northwestern, and she scored 60 in that game. I mean, she's a scorer. That's what she does. And so, for us, it's about getting her in positions to be able to score the basketball. In a perfect world, we're not having to play her as much at the point guard. We can play her a little bit more off the ball, try to find some different ways to get her shots. But I don't know if I expect her to get 20 every night, but I certainly expect her to get up 8 to 10 threes every game.
Emily?
Kind of frustrating night for the starters except for DB. Did you feel like that was something with the offense, just shots not falling? Is there anything particular that was out there?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I felt like Ty was pressing a little bit. She was tight. It's her first. I think it was her first start. I'm not exactly sure, but I think she was pressing a little bit. Those are shots that normally go in for her. ATE, she was moving the ball, and I felt like she passed up some opportunities. But if you between AT and Brianna Jones, they had 13 assists. I mean, that's incredible for bigs. So it's just going to take some timing, rhythm, getting back into it, getting the ball moving. getting some player movement. We've got 2 new starters in the starting lineup, so learning how to play with those other 3, and really 3 because Breezy's back. 3 new starters in the starting lineup, so it's going to take time, but they're going to get there.
And how did you like to kind of share that first crew with Ty?
I'll have to go back and look at the film. I don't like how we started. That can be a number of reasons, right? There could be a number of factors. So I'll have to go back and look at it. And, maybe for us as a coaching staff, it's about, balance and where they're getting their looks, whether it's something as simple as which side of the floor they're on or which actions we're running. So we'll go back, we'll look at that. I love their energy. I can tell you that. I love their defensive intensity and defensive energy. I certainly love that. So we'll look at it. We'll see.
Cesar?
Coach, with everything that you stated in this press conference, clearly on this preseason game, you're looking for certain things, chemistry, and everything that you stated. If you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, seeing teams play for the first time, I guess on the team, how would you rate it?
I'd say probably a 6, 6 to 7. I felt like there were moments where we did some really good things. It's got to be consistent. We had some obvious miscues on the defensive end, communication, execution of our pick and roll defense, weak side, getting stagnant, not being where they're supposed to be. Those are things that you can't have, right? Like those are things that need to be elite right now. We can work on the chemistry, we can work on the continuity on the offensive end, we work on our timing, our spacing, but the details, especially on the defensive end, those need to be locked in. And I didn't feel like we were as good throughout the course of the game, especially early in the ball game, as we wanted to be. But we had our moments, and so we got to take pride in one-on-one matchups, containing, we call it guarding our yard, containing drives, not giving up straight line drives. But overall, I feel really good. We can have miscues and we can have miscommunications. We can have all of that if we're playing with multiple levels of effort, because we'll always make up for it. And I feel like outside of that early part of the ball game, we had that. We can't let teams shoot 53% from the floor. That's not going to be a recipe for success. But we're going to get better.
Last question.
I'm sorry. Next Tuesday, clearly, all eyes will be on you guys. For specifically, it's not just because of the one player that's coming in on the top, most popular players coming into the league. How exciting is that? You've been one of the guys since
A long time.
So being that, to see where this game has evolved to, where you're part of that first game of the season, if you could just speak about that.
Yeah, it's exciting. You're right. I'm old. I've been around for a long time, and seeing where we are and how the needle is moved, and the movement that's happening. It's really an intersection of so many things, and part of that's star power, part of that's social media, part of that's fan engagement, these players engaging with the fans. Part of that is validation, right? I mean, these women are the best in the world. They've always been the best in the world, but now games are put in time slots where you can find them. You're not searching through the internet. You're not searching to the back page of a newspaper. You're not searching to, other areas of wherever. Like, you don't have to find it. It's there. And when it's there, you see that people are watching. People are watching and respect and enjoy the game that these women play. And for me to be a part of it and to still be a part of it is just really exciting. And I'm so happy for the players that are getting to experience this. I'm so proud of the ones who we stood on their shoulders, who are now getting recognized in ways that they haven't been recognized before. And I'm excited about these young superstars coming into our league to take it to another level.
All right, I think we'll end it there. Thank you.
Thank you.